Hey guys, Dale Hull Shop Performance. Well, I have Ratzuki Blast from the Past in front of me. You probably watched the previous video on all the systems and fuel pressure and all the stuff I went over the bike. Well, it's come to the time. It's time to fire this thing up. So we'll put some fuel in it. I got some ERC 110 I've had for a few years. It's still good, not what I'm going to run on the racetrack, but good enough to fire it up. So I'm going to put some fuel in it, and then we'll see if it fires off. And then I'm going to strobe it and check the timing with the timing light on 1 and 4 and 2 and 3. And then I'll probably do a test with the, I'll jump over the fuel pressure safety switch on the nitrous side, and I'll use the button on the nitrous, which is hooked up, with the fuel pump off, and then I can strobe it, and I can make sure my ignition retard is back in the timing up, you know, whatever I set it, whether it's 4 degrees or 6 degrees. We've got 34 degrees total timing in it. That's what I'm going to run aspirated, and then I'll back it up to 28. So I'm jumping across the fuel safety switch on the solenoid is the way we can get around that. Push the button for the nitrous without it hooked up, and then boom, back the timing up. But right now, let's just put some fuel in it and let's see if this thing fires. All right, guys. Like I said, this is ERC. I've had it for a few years, but it's been sealed up. It's a 110, and it's old, but it's been sealed. And the good thing about race gas and leaded, it doesn't get gummed up unless it's, some of the oxygenated fuels, you never do that. It gum the works. This doesn't do that. I wouldn't race with this fuel because it's definitely lost some of its potency, but it's more than good enough to start it up. I don't want to fill this thing. Hard to see in here without a helper holding a flashlight. All right, trying to fire up Big Jake. That's the name of the motor. It's going to be a little loud at first. Even though it's oiled down, you got to get oil to the clutch hub, connecting rods, wrist pins, all the stuff in there. So anyway, first start up right this second. My buddy Kurt's going to push the button and see how it goes. Hang on, Kurt. Let me. I want to make sure that the air fuel gauge is working and the little heater's got to heat up. And it takes about 20 seconds. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Everything else is off. No nitrous. Power shifter's off. Fuel pump's off. Ignition is on only. Okay, we're ready. Fuel on. Float bowls are full. No overflow. Okay, let's try it. Go. Not bad. What is that?
Gauge, that's your fuel pressure gauge.
Shit, fuel pressure gauge blew apart. I'll have to fix that.
Alright, it was relatively quiet.
Move over now. Nice. Yeah, it sounds a little tasty, doesn't it? What do you think, guys? I'm happy. I don't see any oil seepage at all. It was close to idle around 2200 RPM there. It's about 12.5 to 1. Pretty good. So now we let it cool off, go through some hit cycles. I'll do that a few more times. Probably tomorrow, it's getting late now, I'll go ahead and strobe the timing and stuff. And so I'll be back on that video and I'll show you that. Good morning, guys. Well, this is the next morning after the fire up. Hope you enjoyed that. I sure did. It sure sounds spicy, doesn't it? Anyway, what we're going to do today is I'm going to go over the back brakes a little bit, and I'm going to show you a support bracket that we made down here. Actually, my brother-in-law Pablo, my Ace Fab guy, he made a nice bracket down there because there's no support like normal on the shift shaft. You got to support it. I had one at one time, but that went away with the bike. I've never seen it again, so we built something new. I'm going to pull that off to grease the shaft real good where it goes through, and I'll show you the bracket. And a few other little walk around, go around. So I fixed the little, all it was a little plastic cover and the little chrome ring flew off. So I put a teeny bit of clear silicone around the rim, glued it on last night. Recharged the battery all the way. So today we're going to fire it up and we're going to strobe the timing and just put it through another heat cycle. And then eventually I got to figure out how the hell I'm going to get this thing up on my dyno. It's across the yard in gravel. I'm certainly not pushing it, so probably a little trail over there, and then I got to figure out how to get it up on that thing to. I want to run it on there just easy and run, break it in some and go through the gears with it, and then we'll do a couple pulls. So let me grab the camera and I'll do a little walk around real quick, and I'll show you the bracket on the bike. Then I'll pull it off. Okay, just a little close-up for you guys of finished product here. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to tell you about the harness. So I've got 4 systems on this harness, and you can see I have 4 fuses. Well, if I can remember right, the bottom one is the 40 amp. That's for my fuel pump relay. The next one's ignition. The next one is the nitrous selection switch to the button or the throttle. And the next one is my power shifter, electric shifter. They're all on separate circuits. There was hundreds of wires on this thing, and basically that way I can chase it. If I have a problem, it's going to pop that fuse. I can go to my wonderful wiring diagram that's a total mess that I'll show you in a minute, and I can chase the problem. So let me crawl over here real quick. Shut the camera off. I'll get down there so it's not jiggling. I'll show you the shift shaft support bracket. Okay. Okay, I might be shaking around a little bit. Basically, the shift shaft just sticks out in midair, and you gotta support it. It leverages it pretty good when you go up and down. So that little bracket there bolts on the side of the engine where the original counter shaft sprocket cover, 2 of the bottom bolts would be. And then see, we made the plate first. Then a piece of round aluminum stock, and then we boring bar, kind of like line bored it, boring bar. It's about 12 millimeters, and then we marked it, and then it's TIG welded onto the base bracket. And then for added support, when you go up and down, we added the gusset. Okay, and we played with it and tapped on it and played with it and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm going to pull it off right now, and then I'm going to grease it really good right on the shaft, right behind the lever, clamp lever on the splines right there. About the first inch is the contact area. So let me get that off of my hand, and I'll show it to you. Okay, guys, here's the bracket, shift shaft support bracket. I was just showing you off the bike. Yeah, we actually bored that hole with a boring bar. My friend Scott Brown has a little machine shop at his house, and then we kind of honed it and messed with it because, you know, it moves around when you weld it up, of course, and we had the gusset in it. So yeah, that shift shaft, see, sticks out pretty darn far. I don't know if you can see it through there. Yeah, it's about 3.5 inches long. So anyway, I'm going to clean the inside of this real good, and then I'm going to grease the shaft, reinstall this, Loctite the bolts, get the shift linkage back assembled. Okay, guys, I got the back brake. I pumped it up all night and tied the lever back, and then I just bled it, so that's much better. Anyway, I wanted to just show you my scribble real quick. So this is what your wiring's like on all these components. Oh my God, I think I need a bigger piece of paper. So what's going to happen here is each component is going to go on a separate page, and then I will laminate those or put those all in a binder so I have every single thing laid out individual pages. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a little petcock here, a nice little one I bought on Amazon, stainless, and it is quarter natural pipe fittings. And then luckily one side is pretty big. It's almost 5/16 internally, and then on the other side it was just a little too small. So all my fittings I still used 5/16 on the hoses. They're easier to deal with in tight spaces than 3/8, because that's just for the nitrous nozzles. And so what I do is I run a number drill that's just about 6 millimeters through all the fittings, and I was able to go through just one side of the little housing here. Before the ball valve there's a little step, so it didn't touch the ball valve, so I got a nice 6 millimeter hole all the way through, which is plenty of flow. That's what everything else matches. So what I'm doing this for is this petcock once in a while still has a little seep to it, and the solenoids are shut, but just for transport and the bike shut off, I don't want to take a chance. The carburetors always seem to close good on the petcock here, but this one's got a little problem, and it's a pain in the ass taking the pingle one all apart. So I'm going to add this little fuel valve right here so it's easy to get to, and when the bike is parked or being transported to the track, I'll shut that sucker off and there's no chance of any leak by. It would still have to get by the solenoids because they're closed, but just a precaution. So I'm going to put that in there right now, and I'll be right back. Also, I'm going to show you a couple pictures of the wiring before I finished it right now. Alright guys, I got the little valve installed in there. It's nice and clean. Drilled out the fittings and everything inside. Flows like a banshee. Now I got a little safety there in case that pin goes dribbling a little bit for storage purposes. We're going to leave that off now. I just fueled up the bike, and we're going to go ahead and start it up again. I'm going to let it run a little bit, put some heat in it. Then I'm going to get the timing light, and we'll go over that in just a minute. Let's start it up one more time, let it run, I don't know, maybe 2-3 minutes, get a little heat in it, and then we'll talk about the timing. All right, fuel on, ignition on. Ready? Yep. see. Okay, let me get the timing light, be right back. All right, guys, got my timing light I've had for about 30 years. I don't have the dial on it, just a regular timing light. Got my little lithium battery out of, I think, my SP650. So what I have, there is an LED on here, and you can static time this thing, and that's what I did already over on the bike lift. So basically I have their timing marks, but I put a degree wheel on it, double checked them, and made sure they were marked properly. So right now I'm at full advance 34 degrees static and off the box. So I'm going to double check the box, and if it's off, I'm going to move it a little. So the furthest dot forward as it's spinning around is 34 degrees, and then we're going to check. I'm going to do 1 and 4 first. I'm going to shut the motor off. Then I'm going to put it on number 3. Kind of fiddling around. I don't want to just have it die or anything. And then we'll check number 2 and 3, which is just on the opposite part of the rotor. And then after that happens, and it's all set right, we may have to do some adjustments. Then we're going to arm the nitrous system to the left side with the button, because the button activates my ignition retard, and I got it backed up 6 degrees. It comes on the incoming side and gives power to the ignition retard, so it will not click the nitrous solenoids open at all. It's going to just give a hot to the ignition retard. So we'll do that after we set the timing, and I got it back 6 degrees, so that brings it to from 34 to 28. And then I can watch it down here, because I did with the degree wheel. I've got marks at quite a few spots. I have, what I got? I got 28, I got 26 even. So anyway, Kurt's going to fire it up for me, and we're going to strobe it right now. And let's see if everything goes okay. We're checking 1 and 4 now. Okay, it's perfect. All right, so Dyna did a good job on their thing, on the box. Used to be off a little bit, but I might have been doing it wrong in the old days. But anyway, it repeated. Okay, so now we're going to go to 2 and 3. Kurt, don't start it yet. I didn't have the ignition turned on yet. I flipped this ignition on.
Say when.
All right, hon, so as I'm timing it and looking at it, and you come down and look in the hole so I can show them 2 and 3. All right, go ahead, Kurt. Beauty. Okay, that one's about a 1/2 degree maybe, but I'm not going to mess with it. You can loosen these little bolts and try to adjust 2 and 3, and for a 1/2 degree, it may go haywire and never get close again. I'll be screwing around with it for 2 hours for a 1/2 degree, so I'm leaving it. All right, well, so let me do a little prep. Be right back. All right, so we're right on the money with 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 on the total advance of 34. We strobed it, we know that. So now my Liza is going to bring the camera. So I'm going to refresh your memory of how I told you about the system. So ignition is on. The nitrous trigger side we're going to put over here to the left. That's going to be this button. But like I said, it's going to fire up the power to the retard box only, because there's no fuel pressure to the pressure safety switch in the nitrous system. Okay, so I'm going to have Kurt start it now. And we got it already turned on that way. I'll be strobing it, and then I'll tell Kurt when to push the button for me, and we'll look and see if the timing backs up like it's supposed to. And then what we'll do, if it's working fine, I'm going to shut it off, put it on 2 and 3, and we're going to double check that too. So yeah, it's pulled back 6 full degrees. Theoretically, it should do its thing. Hang on, Kurt. Okay, fire. Backing it clear up to 28 degrees. Honey,
Yeah.
I'll have you come over and show that on this one. Okay. Okay, now we're going to check 2 and 3. Go ahead. Perfect. Do you see it back to timing up? If you saw the timing marks in there, if my Liza had it pointed at it, you saw what it did. It was all the way at the front little dots, and then backed it up 6 degrees. So we did the test. We know the timing's right because I set it all up with the degree wheel. Now I strobed it to verify it, and now we know that the timing retard's working on the whole engine, whether it's 1 and 4, 2, 3 cylinder. All right, guys. So we've put some heat in it today, testing everything. We're going to go ahead and do a compression rundown. I already did a leak down, and it's like 4, 6, 4, and 6. I mean, there's only 6% on one cylinder, which is good. Anyway, I know the rings aren't seated right now. I just want to get an idea on the cranking pressure. So let's do that right now on number 4 first. Come and look at the up here. Okay, when I nod, you shut it off. Okay? Okay, go. All right, so we've got 2 1/4. Okay. Well, you can leave it on there. Okay, guys, the final little, I wouldn't say test we're going to do, but we haven't put it in gear yet. Haven't got oil in the clutch yet, even though I oiled them up. Probably do a kind of a bang when I put it in gear, but I thought I would put the body on and sit on it. I'll hold the front brake on. My stand is pretty secure. I'll have Kurt stand on the back corner of the stand. And let's try put it in at the end first gear, get some oil in the clutch plates. And it's going to be clunky with no load on. I might have to barely ride the back brake or something. Because brand new big chain and everything, you know, with no load. But I was thinking maybe just going first, second, third or something, just easy. Maybe I'll test the shifter once, but we'll see. So anyway, here goes. Let's see how it goes. Fuel on, ignition on. Go. Houston, we got a problem. We got to make some adjustments. Clutch is good. Had it up in 5th gear. A little clunky, of course. But we've got to, it's hard to tell now because there's no load on it, but there's my electric shifter will have to adjust it. And I'll have to probably do that on the dyno. So anyway, I think this for now wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed this part of it. And I sure had fun showing you everything. So, oh, got some buddies there in our off-road vehicle. Anyway, I just want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it all. This is really cool for me. You know, F cancer, right? This baby's,
yep, that's
this baby's
right.
doing it for me. So, I appreciate your support. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below, okay? All right, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.